What if I told you that waiting 5 extra years for your CPF payout could actually make you poorer, not richer? Hmm, sounds crazy, right? Because everyone keeps repeating the same line. Delay CPF life to 70 and you get 35% more every month. On paper, that sounds like a no-brainer. But here's the thing nobody explains properly. Okay, let's start with a normal Singaporean. Let's call him Liang. 55 years old, engineer, decent CPF savings, and like most of us, he's been told his whole working life that more is better. So when he hears delaying CPF life gives him 35% more monthly payout, his first instinct is simple. Delay it. Obviously, who wouldn't want more money? But Wei Liang's uncle, who's already 68, said something that made him pause. His uncle said, delaying isn't free, you know? You're not getting extra money for nothing. You're trading years for it. And that one sentence is exactly what most people miss. Because here's the real question nobody asks loudly enough. Extra 35%, yes, but extra 35% of what? Starting when? And after giving up how many years of payouts you could have already been spending? That's the big idea we're unpacking today. Not whether 35% is real, it is, but whether it actually makes you financially better off or just delays the moment you start getting paid. Let's break down how CPF Life actually works because a lot of people get confused here. CPF Life gives you a monthly payout for life starting anywhere between age 65 and 70. The later you start, the higher your monthly amount, roughly 7% more for every year you delay, which stacks up to about that well-known 35% difference between starting at 65 versus 70. Now here's where most explanations stop. They show you the bigger number and say, see, delay is better. But money isn't just about the size of the number. It's about time. And time is the piece that keeps getting left out of the conversation. Think of it like two payslips. One starts paying you at 65, a smaller amount, but for 5 extra years. The other starts at 70, a bigger amount, but only after skipping those 5 years entirely. So the real question isn't which payout is bigger, it's which one actually gives you more money in your pocket by the time you're, say, 85 or 90. This is where the break-even point comes in, and most Singaporeans have honestly never heard this term explained simply. Picture two savings jars. Jar A starts filling up at 65. Jar B stays completely empty until 70, but once it starts, it fills faster. For the first few years, Jar A is way ahead. It's had a 5-year head start, right? Jar B needs time to catch up. And it does catch up, eventually. But that eventually is usually in the early to mid-80s, depending on your exact numbers. So if you pass away, let's say at 82, Jar A actually gave you more total money over your lifetime. But if you live to 90, Jar B wins by a noticeable margin. Suddenly, this isn't really a math question anymore. It's a health question, a family history question, a how long do people in my family typically live question. And that's uncomfortable, but it's the honest core of this decision. Now here's where things get interesting, because most people assume everyone should just delay to be safe in case they live long. But delaying also has hidden costs that never make it into the headline number. If you delay CPF life, you need another source of income for those extra years. Savings, part-time work, family support, something. Not everyone has that flexibility. For someone with limited cash reserves, taking the payout earlier at 65 could actually reduce financial stress immediately, even if the lifetime total ends up slightly lower. There's also this. Money today isn't the same as money in 5 years. A dollar in your hand at 65 can be used, invested, or simply enjoyed while you're more mobile and healthier. A dollar promised at 70 is still just a promise. A bigger promise, sure, but a promise you have to be alive and well enough to actually enjoy. So here's where most people misunderstand the entire debate. They treat this as 35% more is automatically the smarter choice. But that's only half the picture. The real question is this. Are you optimizing for the biggest possible number on paper, or are you optimizing for financial comfort during the years you're actually able to enjoy it? Let's bring in real numbers to make this less abstract. Say someone's monthly payout at 65 is $900. Delay to 70, and that same payout could rise to somewhere around $1,200 a month, depending on the individual's CPF balance. Over 10 years, from 65 to 75, the early starter has already collected around $108,000. The late starter, who only begins receiving payouts at 70, has collected roughly $60,000 in that same window. It genuinely takes years after 70 for the higher monthly amount to fully close that gap. This is exactly why financial planners rarely give a blanket answer. Instead, they look at your health, your family longevity, your other income sources, and your comfort with financial risk. So, how do you actually decide? Ask yourself 3 honest questions. First, do I have enough savings or income to comfortably cover the years before CPF Life kicks in? Second, based on my health and family history, do I realistically expect to live well into my 80s or beyond? Third, do I value having more cash available earlier or a larger guaranteed amount later? If you answered yes to good health, strong family longevity, and comfort waiting, delaying might genuinely work in your favor. But if early cash flow matters more or your health situation is uncertain, starting earlier isn't a mistake. It's simply a different kind of smart. And that's really the deeper lesson here, isn't it? CPF Life isn't a trick question with one correct answer. It's a personal equation, one that depends on how long you expect to live, how much flexibility you need, and how you personally value money now versus money later. The number on your payslip or your CPF statement doesn't decide your future by itself. Your understanding of these trade-offs does. And now that you know what that 35% actually costs you in time, you're in a much stronger position to make that decision, not based on a headline, but based on what actually fits your life. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small money habit you're going to change after watching this video? Share it in the comments. I read everyone, and your idea might help someone else too. If you found this video useful, a quick like and subscribe really helps the channel reach more people who want to make smarter financial decisions. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me today. Until next time, keep building wealth one smart decision at a time.